What's up, guys? Benny. If you want to know who's really in charge, simply ask the question, who are we not allowed to talk about? What questions are we not allowed to ask? Very interesting in the whole Epstein saga that Hillary and Bill Clinton, who have been in the public eye for 4 decades, most powerful people in the world during certain time periods, were never asked about their dearest best friend, the foremost pederast on earth, somebody who they were so close with. He had a oil painting of Bill Clinton hanging in one of his pederast dungeons. Really makes you wonder, why has nobody ever asked Hillary Clinton about Jeffrey Epstein or Bill Clinton? This is the one time on camera that Hillary Clinton was even approached about the number of times that Bill Clinton hung out with Jeffrey Epstein.
Somebody who's going to get up every day.
Hey, Hillary, why'd your husband visit Epstein Island 26 times?
So this is an activist. His name's Alex Rosen. What happened to this activist was he was punched and knocked to the ground. Then he was mobbed. Then he was beaten. Then he had his clothes ripped off him. Then he was dragged out of the auditorium by the police because he asked about Epstein. Here's one little dude who asked Bill Clinton, the only time Bill Clinton's ever been asked about Epstein. Little polite man says, hey, Bill, what do you think about Jeffrey Epstein?
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein? No.
You see this guy that sneaks in there to listen in? This is Bill Clinton's chief of staff. He barks no. He says, no, don't answer anything. And then Bill Clinton gives him that look, right? Bill Clinton then says, the evidence speaks for itself. Why are they so nervous? It really makes you wonder. You know who does talk about Epstein a lot? Donald Trump. No, like for real. Donald Trump started his political career talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Nobody even knew what Donald Trump was talking about there in 2015, when that clip is from. And now, well, ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like we are going to learn a lot more about Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to learn why ABC News shut down their reporting.
We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail. And
why couldn't you get it on? Ghislaine Maxwell is talking to the feds. And there are people who act like they have something to hide, like the people who kill stories about Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton. And then there's guys who put Jeffrey Epstein behind bars. There's only one lawyer who ever did that. This is the attorney right here. He tried the case in Florida. And he says Trump was the only guy who helped him.
The thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave.
He goes on to say that the reason that Jeffrey Epstein was able to be put behind bars was because Donald Trump actually tipped off the authorities about what Jeffrey Epstein was up to. And now Ghislaine Maxwell is talking. Ghislaine Maxwell knows Donald Trump. There's photos of them together from way back in the day. And Ghislaine Maxwell is the key to everything. Now President Trump's Justice Department is speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like here, for instance, there's a relatively famous photo of here's Maxwell and here's Trump and Melania. When's this dated from? The year 2000. So at the same time that the Clintons are finally being served a subpoena for their connection with Epstein, so it looks like we are definitely going to learn about Bill and Hillary Clinton, former AG's FBI director, subpoenaed over Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and Ghislaine Maxwell. What does she have to say about Trump? Jeffrey Epstein's Madame Ghislaine Maxwell reportedly told the Justice Department officials in a recent interview that she never saw President Trump do anything untoward or wrong. The notorious sex trafficker gave no information that could potentially harm Trump's reputation, according to ABC News. Maxwell huddled with Deputy Attorney General Tom Blanche for 20 hours, Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, for 9 hours this last month. Her lawyer was also there, and he revealed that Maxwell answered every single question about 100 different people as she tries to hash out a deal to the feds to spill the secrets about the late pedophile. Trump, for his part, has long denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, insisting that he cut off their relationship a long time ago, saying that Jeffrey Epstein was inappropriate at his club, and he said this many times on the record, and that's what the facts belie. Marcus said he didn't ask for anything from Maxwell in return, but acknowledged that Trump could pardon her. Listen, the president this morning said that he has the power to pardon, and we hope that he exercises that power. This is Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney. Soon after the DOJ met with Maxwell, who's serving a 20-year sentence, meaning she'd be out in her 80s, meaning she'd be a very old woman by the time she gets out in 2040, she was moved to a Texas prison known as Club Fed. This is where they move people who are socialites, nonviolent offenders, people involved in white-collar crime, people who are cooperating with the federal government. This is very curious. Ghislaine Maxwell, in a 9-hour interview with the Deputy Attorney General, repeatedly made statements about President Trump, no damaging statements about President Trump, according to sources familiar with the conversation. She told Blanche that Trump never acted inappropriately in her presence. This is, by the way, backed up by not only Ghislaine Maxwell, but also one of Ghislaine Maxwell's chief victims turned whistleblowers, Virginia Roberts, who was also asked about Trump and worked for Trump and Epstein, and said that she never once saw President Trump engage in any illegal or untoward activity. Trump administration looking at releasing DOJ interview transcript with Ghislaine Maxwell. Release it all. Let's go. There's your transparency, Trump administration. Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirator sat for an interview. Deputy Attorney General, release the full transcript. The transcript and audio of the interview with the Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, which occurred in Florida over the course of 2 days. Ghislaine Maxwell is on the record saying Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered. Well, I'm shocked.
I believe he was murdered. Ghislaine Maxwell hopefully won't meet the same fate. Boy, things are getting spicy. White House is weighing whether to release the transcript of the DOJ interview. That would be actual transparency, wouldn't it? We're leaning towards transparency on releasing the full transcript. Epstein saga plot twist continues. This is going to get very interesting. Trump officials will apparently meet at J.D. Vance's home to craft a unified response to the Epstein scandal. It'll be J.D. Vance and Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and Patel and Todd Blanche. Now, they've denied this. I'm just reporting what's available, what's currently available here. This is according to Caitlin Collins. Sources are telling CNN that top Trump administration officials are going to meet tomorrow night at the VP's residence. And the main focus is going to be Epstein and a unified front. Again, the Trump administration has denied that flatly and said that it is fake news and it's not happening. So, but it's out there in the ether. It's being reported. So here we go. Obviously, you couldn't do a secret meeting at the VP's house. Is on a public road. You can see it. Like, no such thing as a secret meeting there. You know, if it happens, it happens. Ghislaine Maxwell makes blistering rebuttal after Trump demands release of secret Epstein grand jury transcripts. Ghislaine Maxwell wants immunity for cooperating with the feds. Well, she just got her first step in that immunity. She got moved to this cushy new prison. That, again, is the only place, the place that you move people when they're cooperating with the feds or when they're waiting for a pardon, when they're at the end of their sentence. Ghislaine Maxwell is not at the end of her sentence. And so the question is, was Ghislaine Maxwell asked about Bill Clinton, some of the other big-time celebrities that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein? That's a big question that people who've never answered questions about Jeffrey Epstein, nor were they ever even asked, don't want you to find out. So we're looking forward to that. Let them cook. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.